Right now on Fox 43 Featured, South Central Pennsylvania marked Juneteenth this week with events around the region. What Lancaster's celebrations mean to the community. A new report shows high levels of pollution in the Susquehanna River. How an environmental group says the water quality is impacting people who live in the area. Plus, summer travel season is here, and you may notice HIA is a little busier this year. Now the airport is gearing up to welcome record numbers and make trips as smooth as possible. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sedona Meadows. Juneteenth was celebrated throughout South Central Pennsylvania this week as the federal holiday commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. Fox 43's James Corrigan has the story from one celebration in Lancaster, where the area's history of abolition played a role in securing freedom for all.
The flag of freedom flew high over Lancaster on Thursday. 160 years to the day, freedom came to the last remaining enslaved people in America. And for the people of Lancaster, who gathered to commemorate Juneteenth, the day is a celebration of a promise of liberty coming to fruition.
It is the day the truth caught up to promise. It is the day the lie of bondage was confronted by the power of dignity. It is the day our people took breath, not just as survivors, but as citizens of a new possibility.
That possibility was cultivated in part in Lancaster, once a hotbed of abolitionism and a staple of the Underground Railroad.
We have the history here of Thaddeus Stevens and Lydia Hamilton Smith and a group of dedicated abolitionists putting their careers, their lives, their bodies on the line to make sure that people stayed free.
Those who attended the flag-raising ceremony at City Hall say staying free is never a guarantee, and that the lessons from 160 years ago is that the freedom of the enslaved people in Galveston, Texas in 1865 was not guaranteed by a law or a proclamation, but took action to make true.
The connection to the modern day, to Juneteenth, is to ask where our friends and neighbors have their freedom threatened, what are we willing to do to make sure that they remain free? And that's what I hope that this celebration is about this year.
Lessons from the past and a look to the future, with freedom flying over all people. James Corrigan, Fox 43 News.
Democratic lawmakers focused on the PA Momnibus 2.0 legislative package this week, highlighting what they say are disturbing trends in Black maternal health. Members of the Black Maternal Health Caucus held PA Momnibus Day at the state capitol on Tuesday. Those lawmakers say the proposed bills build the previous success in the last legislative session when House Bill 1608 was signed into law, extending Medicaid coverage to doula services in the state. 9 bills are included in the new legislative package.
Despite those wins, Pennsylvania remains one of the most dangerous places in this country to give birth, especially if you are a Black woman. The majority of maternal deaths in the state could have been avoided with timely care, appropriate support, and a system that works for everyone.
2 of those bills passed out of House committees on Tuesday. Those would allow accommodations for breastfeeding in state-owned buildings and increase education initiatives for fatherhood engagement for maternal health. Well, Central York is one of the school districts offering a free summer lunch program in the area. The program will take place this summer at Stony Brook and Hayshire Elementaries, Mondays through Thursdays. While it is focused on the school students, district officials say it is open to whoever needs it.
We love just sharing it with the community, letting them know that it's open to anyone under 18, so anyone in York County or the surrounding areas can come take advantage of it.
Children do not need to be enrolled in the Central York School District to receive a free lunch. The district is part of the USDA's Summer Food Program, which provides funding for the meals. A new report recommends that people avoid water contact at several streams along the Susquehanna River due to elevated bacteria levels. Fox 43's Matt Kleinens has a look at the recent study.
Rain continues to pour across the region, increasing the chance of pollutants running off into the Susquehanna River.
We understand that it is a serious concern, it's a serious problem, and it doesn't take much rain at all.
A new report from the lower Susquehanna River Keepers shows high levels of pollution along several spots near the Susquehanna River. According to the study, sites like the New Cumberland Boat Launch and Columbia River Park have such high levels of E. coli people are being advised not to make contact with the water. Executive Director Ted Evgenitis says the sources of the pollution include manure runoff and failing septic systems.
The public has every right to swim, fish, and boat in the Susquehanna River. Their rights are being stripped away.
Evgenitis adds that Capital Region Water in Harrisburg continues to present pollution concerns after facing multiple lawsuits for dumping raw sewage into the river. In an email, the utility company stated that there were many more sources to bacteria in the water and that City Island was one of the few test sites that received a low E. coli score.
We know that the further east you get on the eastern side of the river, the more bacteria there is, considering the overflows coming from Harrisburg.
Advocates hope to use the data to keep people informed before they make summer plans out on the water.
We want to work collaboratively with all the partners involved to make sure that goals are met and so that the public has the ability to exercise the rights that they have.
Matt Kleindens, Fox 43 News.
New Pennsylvania license plates are now available to order ahead of the country's 250th anniversary. State leaders partnered with sports teams across the state to announce this week that the new Let Freedom ring plates are available for all Pennsylvanians to order. More than 11,000 plate orders have been filled since pre-orders were available last year. Pennsylvanians with specialized plates can have their old plate replaced for free. Drivers with standard plates will pay $13 for the new plate. Airports around the country are gearing up as travel is set to soar this summer. Fox 43's Melina Brown spoke with officials at Harrisburg International Airport on how they're preparing for one of the busiest years yet.
As rain continues to hit our area, central Pennsylvanians are using this time to catch a flight out of Harrisburg International to a sunnier spot.
This should be a record year for us. March, April, and May have all set new monthly traffic records. And in fact, May is probably the third busiest month in airport history.
And last year, more airline tickets were purchased in the region than ever before, even beating out pre-COVID travel. The TSA released a report earlier this year that nearly 2,500 people will be going through HIA in a single day this travel season. And the airlines are listening.
This summer, June, July, and August, will be 18% more seats for sale for last year. So that's more seats to Florida, more seats to Myrtle Beach and Nashville, as well as the big hubs like Chicago, Atlanta, Dallas, where you can connect to cities around the world.
So whether you prefer American, Allegiant, or any of the airlines in between, more flights are going to be available to you every day.
The airlines have found a nice sweet spot for fares, the convenience of the airport, and now they're growing quite a bit. Add that together, and people are responding to travel options out of here.
And there are no plans of slowing down.
We have plenty of space here to handle probably, even with this 20% increase, probably another 20-25% on top of that.
I'm told it all comes down to convenience and what people want.
People pay a reasonable premium for the convenience, not driving 2 hours each way to a farther away congested airport.
And while other airports have been affected by federal cuts, Harrisburg International is operating well.
TSA staffing-wise, we're in good shape. And the tower here as well, again, we're outside the New York City, Washington airspace, and they're staffed at a fine level as well right now. So we don't have any concerns about federal government workforce. We have what we need right now.
Airport officials say they are prepared and ready to handle new growth, including the construction taking over this summer that will make your experience as smooth as possible.
We don't want you in the airport a long time, just long enough to buy drinks and snacks, but not a long time. But if you are here early, you want your time to be productive, because when you're traveling, productivity is key.
Melina Brown, Fox 43 News.
Well, summer is here, and that means kids have a lot of free time away from school. How maintaining a routine during their break can help them when they head back in the fall. Summer break is finally here, and for many families, that means later bedtimes, more screen time, and a break from the school routine. Though, is all that freedom good for kids? Well, in this week's Health Smart Report, Fox 43's Amy Lutz talks to a local doctor to find out why a little bit of structure can go a long way.
The dreaded summer slide. No, not that one. School is out, and it may be tempting to let the kids sleep in, snack all day, and park in front of a screen. But experts with UPMC say a summer routine is still key.
We expect children during the school year to have a routine. So if during the summer you lift your routine, then these kids get off schedule And this transition back to school after the summer break is really, really difficult.
Dr. Smith says even though it may be difficult, her best advice is to keep the same wake-up and bedtime routines as during the year.
You know that when kids get overly tired, they get really emotional. Sometimes they don't follow directions as well. So keeping them well rested will keep them happier during the day.
And don't forget physical activity. Dr. Smith says even 30 to 60 minutes a day of movement, whether bike riding, soccer, or just playing tag, can make a big difference.
If there is no sort of summer camp activity that allows them to be outside during the day, it may be a good idea to have kind of a nighttime play session.
So sure, sleep in a few minutes here and there, skip a chore now and then, but a summer with structure, that's a recipe for happier and healthier kids.
Experts suggest posting a simple daily plan on the fridge, something flexible but consistent that the entire family can follow. With your Health Smart report, Amy Lutz, Fox 43 News.
The American Lifeguard Association says over 9,000 pools closed or reduced hours last summer due to staffing shortages. While some local facilities like the Codorus State Park Pool have struggled in the past, officials say they haven't had staffing issues yet this year. Others are taking a long-term approach to stay fully staffed. At Green Valley Swimming Pool, managers recruit members young, offer incentives, and build a culture of community.
They work a few years in a snack bar. We kind of work them into the guarding rotation. Then once they become a senior guard, then the only guard. They're going to make a lot more money lifeguarding, so there's this carrot at the end of that stick.
The American Lifeguard Association attributes the lack of lifeguards to the job traditionally being held by teenagers over the summer rather than having long-term employees. However, the association says lifeguards are an essential part of a community's emergency response force, especially in the summer. One York County lifeguard says the job helps prepare people for the real world, offering first aid training as well as emergency management and conversation skills. Well, here's something sweet. You're just a pint away from saving a life and getting some ice cream. Fox 43's Melina Brown explains how WellSpan Health is taking care of their patients and their donors.
When the weather heats up, there's usually one thing on the mind.
Chocolate peanut butter.
Ooh, I switch it up all the time. I love chocolate chip cookie dough, though.
And that's not the only pint people are thinking about.
Every day there's patients that need blood and rely on people to come in and donate that blood to be given for treatment.
So WellSpan Health is giving a pint for a pint. For the second year in a row, anyone who gives blood this week will receive a free pint of Perrydale Farms ice cream as a thank you.
Blood is something that can't be purchased, it has to be donated. So we rely on our blood donors to treat patients in the hospital. Without our blood donors, we can't provide the medical care that we need.
During the summer, blood donations can go low as many people have vacation plans. But donation doesn't take all day.
A donation takes less than an hour of your time, so any time that you're able to give is saving lives, and our patients benefit from that.
An impact that's on many people's hearts.
I was a nursing major, and so I was always in the hospital, and I just know that there's always blood shortages, and just one donation can help save a patient, which is what I really wanted to do.
You can find more information on how to donate on our website, fox43.com. Melina Brown, Fox 43 News.
State officials are promoting safe driving habits ahead of the busy summer season. What they're saying about those habits and how driving laws will be enforced. As part of their 4th of July impaired driving campaign, state officials and PA State Police gathered to explain why safe driving is so important. Fox 43's Kyle Ennis tells us what they're doing to keep everyone safe across the Commonwealth ahead of the holiday.
Safety on the roads is a growing concern for Pennsylvanians.
They're doing 80, 90 miles an hour. They just, like the speed limit doesn't exist anymore.
I feel like I'm an old fuddy-duddy in the way, trying to go the speed limit or thereabouts, and getting past like I'm standing still.
To combat crashes and accidents, the Shapiro administration on Wednesday continued their 4th of July impaired driving campaign that runs until July 6th. By heightening patrols, ticketing those that violate the newly created Paul Miller's law against distracted driving by cell phones, and creating sobriety checkpoints. The hope is these initiatives can curb the risks on the PA roads. PennDOT Secretary Mike Carroll says that making the right decisions can save lives.
It's important. No drinking and driving, no distracted driving, and buckle up.
In July 2024, there were more than 8,000 crashes and more than 100 people killed. Both of these make up roughly 7 and 10% of the annual totals, respectively. Crashes totaled more than 300 and 5 people were killed on Independence Day specifically. Kelly Whitaker of the PA Traffic Injury Prevention Project says a safer summer includes no distractions and no impaired driving, but also setting the example for the next generation about safe habits in the car.
Buckling your seatbelt and making sure that every child in the vehicle is in the appropriate car seat or booster seat is a small habit that can make a life-saving difference.
Kyle Ennis, Fox 43 News.
The Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission is reminding boaters to be extra careful this weekend, with water levels staying high across the state. Recent rainfall has left many waterways running higher and faster than normal, like the Susquehanna River. And the commission says these conditions can be more dangerous than people expect.
So you may paddle the same 2 or 3 mile section of the creek every time you go out, but with high water, things change, characteristics of the stream change, the time frame that you have to make decisions change.
The commission says everyone should wear a well-fitted life jacket when on or near water, and also recommends not boating alone and checking water levels and weather forecasts before going out. One company in South Central PA is keeping the arcade vibes of the past alive in the present. The story behind M&P Amusement after the break. If you grew up in the days of arcades, then you know the excitement that comes with a pocket full of quarters or tokens. Fox 43's Alex Colley shows us how some local and national venues still look to South Central PA for a taste of yesteryear's entertainment.
Nostalgia never goes out of style.
Skee ball is our biggest seller.
Gene Goodman with M&P Amusement is in the nostalgia business.
This one is going to California. This one is South Carolina. This is Washington. This is Texas, Idaho. We ship all over the country.
The company's been around since 1932, and just like the technology that it deals with, it's evolved over time.
We had several bars and restaurants. We would put jukeboxes in, crane games. And back in the early 1980s, the owner, Mike, started getting into mall locations. And he actually built the second largest franchise for arcades. In the late 1990s, early 2000s, malls died. And we started branching out and started selling and refurbishing different types of arcade games.
Spaceship. At places like Decades in Lancaster, people can reconnect with games that were part of their childhood.
The people that grew up in the 80s and 90s were the last true arcade people, and they want to play what they remember playing. So adult arcades have become huge.
But to give these a new life,
JB here's making a new plastic for one of our gun games.
Gene and his team are constantly at work in York to refurbish and resell used as well as new arcade games.
Usually games last about 5-10 years on location. Our refurbishing process takes about 3 to 4 weeks from the time you place the order until it's ready to go out the door. Our employees are very into the games. We have a lot of guys that want to buy the games that they're working on. And we do a lot of play testing.
During the pandemic in 2020, the industry began to see a new trend.
We saw a huge demand for people wanting real-size arcade games in their homes. So game rooms became really big. And now Airbnbs are now putting in full game rooms to entertain their guests while they're there.
So while the games have changed, the end result remains the same.
People want to enjoy themselves.
And the classics, well, they're still classics. Alex Colley, Fox 43.
Well, Amazon has announced details for its massive annual Prime Day event this July. And for the first time ever, it'll be 4 days long.
Whatever it is, it's going to be a big deal.
Amazon made the announcement this week, releasing an ad featuring basketball legend LeBron James. The popular online sale has typically been for 2 days. Now, according to the announcement, Prime Day will include discounts on brands like Sony, Dyson, Beats, and New Balance. Amazon's Prime Day officially starts at 12:01 a.m. on July 8th and runs through July 11th. Well, a chain restaurant location in York County gave a local service dog a special meal in her final hours. Lily, the service dog, was invited to Jersey Mike's store in Shrewsbury on Wednesday for all of the all-deli meat she could eat, as she had been diagnosed with bone cancer that's progressing rapidly and needs to be put down. The staff at the store invited Lily out after seeing Lily's final visit to UPMC Memorial Hospital in West Manchester Township the day prior, where she spent time as a service dog. Those who have worked with her say she's special.
Lily has done so much for the community. It's just wonderful to see the community giving back to her. Something simple as Jersey Mike's offering to provide her with her final sub just shows that the community understands her impact.
Lily has been a service dog for more than 6 years, most recently offering patients support for 20 to 30 hours a week after the shooting at UPMC Memorial Hospital in February. Well, that's it for this week's edition for Fox 43 Featured. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Have a good one.